if you all are okay with that. Because we only have about 17 people, maybe we could just do a quick round of introductions. And by quick, I mean maybe just saying your name, maybe just briefly, what kind of industry you come from and how long you've been a charter member. How does that sound? Sound good? We'll do it real quick. All right, let's go ahead and start with David Smith.
Oh, okay. Retired from the semiconductor industry here in the Northwest. Been a charter member 3rd year, I believe.
Great, welcome. Durgam.
Yeah, I am retired now, and I'm one of the founding members, one of the 7 founding members, I think. And I've been charter member since it was started. So
Yeah, we thank you so much for your continued support of the programming that we do. We really appreciate it.
thank you.
Randy.
Randy Lund, retired from the world of public accounting, and I think I've been a member coming on 4, maybe going on 5 years at this point. So.
Yeah, I think ever since I stepped into my position. All right, Anna, you're up. If you can unmute.
I know. It is always like, hi, I'm Anna. I am in the startup world, work with founders now in small companies, and I've been retired, 2 years? I think it's my 2nd year with doing this thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Nice. Thanks for joining. All right, let's go with Mark.
I'm Mark Wermeister. I'm a technology management consultant. I think I've been a charter member for 2, maybe 3 years now. I don't remember. But
is that connection working?
One in person before, not anymore. So, yeah, thanks.
Yeah, thanks for being here. All right, Heather Samarin.
Hi, Heather Samarin. Let's see, I've been a charter member for 3 years now. Also a TIE Angel, and have been in tech senior leadership for my career, 20 years.
Nice, thank you. Rob Johns.
Hi, so I'm Rob Johns. I am a commercial insurance broker by trade, but I enjoy a lot of what I do with Benson Tech, and I met Nitin about 5 years ago to establish TYE at Benson Tech. And since then I kept in touch a little bit, and in December I've joined the board.
Yeah, we are so happy to have you. Okay, Kalpana.
Hi, Kalpana Merchant. I'm a retiree from Big Pharma, 4 years in Portland. I work as a consultant to small startup biotechs and private foundations. And I might be just finishing 1 year. I think I joined last year.
Yeah.
Last year was like a time warp. So
yeah. Yeah, that sounds about right. All right. Well, thanks for being here. Vijay Gelbswamy.
Hi, everybody. My name is Vijay. I'm a charter member for about 6 months. I'm a fairly newbie. Past life in automotive, Daimler, and real estate and mortgage.
Great. Yeah, it's good to put a face to a name there. Lateef Jackson.
Hi, I'm Lateef Jackson. I guess I've been a charter member. This is my 2nd year, a little over 1.5 years, I think. I come from the software background. I'm a software engineer. I've been a part of a number of startups, SaaS and others. Currently, I'm the CTO of Troy Medicare, which is a Medicare Advantage plan. So technology, health are kind of my things.
Fantastic. Yeah. Thanks so much for being here. Okay, Brigitte.
Hello, everyone. My name is Brigitte Pineski. I'm a physician by training and am digital health advisor for a group called NextCube Incubator Accelerator out of San Francisco and San. We were with COVID. We've become remote and host a number of startups every year. I joined TIE, I think 4 years ago now, and I'm on the board and have an extra interest in the cryptocurrency blockchain space. So like to connect those members that are of similar mind, because there's so happening that needs many minds to figure out, find the best path forward. So looking forward to the days when we can see each other in person again.
Yeah, for sure. All right, thank you. Manish.
Hey guys, this is Manish. I'm probably the newest charter member here. I may take a bet here, but you know, and just taking the poll here, I think retirees, I think outcount the non-retirees. So I'm also one of the retirees, recently retired from a business, technology services business called ProKarma, and happy to be here, happy to learn about what's going on in the world of TIE, and hopefully happy to contribute.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Yeah, no, thank you so much. We appreciate you joining. Jared Hodgson.
Yeah, hi. Sorry, I'm not on video. I'm trying to deal with a kindergartner and virtual schooling right now. So I have a background in enterprise software. I've been with TIE for as a charter member for a couple of years and participated in some of the due diligence and some of the investment opportunities and other areas like that. So my background is certainly in technology with a couple of local startups.
Yeah, we loved how you jumped right in after you joined. So thank you for that. Brent Bullock.
Thanks, Brent Bullock. I am an attorney here in town with working mostly in the tech, but not exclusively in the tech area. If you can tell between Randy and I, we started probably about the same time as he described himself as retired. I am not. So clearly accounting is a better world to get into than the practice of law. I, like Durgan, was involved in the very, very beginning. The group of original founders reached out to me and a compatriot of mine, Bill Campbell, and so we helped get TIE started in the very beginning. And so I was one of the founding charter members and have been a charter member since, and have been on the board for a number of years as well. And pleased to be here. And thanks to all of you for being engaged, because this organization cannot succeed without strong charter members. And so thank you for the time and efforts and involvement that you've all put into the organization.
Yeah, agreed 100% on that front. It looked like that we had somebody that might have just been joining by phone, but now I can't seem to locate them. So let's move along to staff. Nicole.
Hi, everyone. I'm Nicole Maris, and I'm the TYE program coordinator or manager, and I've been with TIE for 2.5 years.
Yep, and Nicole will be presenting here in just a little bit about her program. Ben.
Hey, everybody. This is very weird for me to not be doing this in person. No, it's actually very strange for me to have people on the call that I haven't met in person yet, which is a new thing for me, but it's great to see everybody. And I'm the director now of the Angel program. And one of the things that we'll be doing is bringing in an intern, hopefully soon, to help us with. So hopefully you'll get to meet this person, and I'll get to meet those of you I haven't met in person yet sooner rather than later.
Yeah, no kidding. You know, here's the deal. We were going to do a in-person event in September, and that got canceled because of the rain. And then we tried again to put something on the calendar in December, and Governor Brown kind of put us under more strict guidelines. So I do apologize. I'm trying to find some windows that we can connect in person, obviously social distance with good airflow and that. And so hopefully within the next few months, we can all get back together in person. But we're gonna make the best of it, and we're gonna try to fly through some of this information, because I know we've probably all been on screen for quite some time today. So let me go ahead and share my screen, and we will get started. So like Brent Bullock mentioned earlier, we really cannot do it without all the support of our charter members and our community partners and our fiduciary sponsors that you see on the screen. We just really couldn't do everything that we, that the ecosystem really is asking us to do. So thank you again so much for all your contributions. And it looks like Nitin just joined. Nitin, did you want to say a quick hello? We went through some introductions. You're on mute.
My apologies. I am getting surgery on the 5th, and I had a pre-op call today, and it ran over. But first of all, thank you all for joining in this meeting. I think we've got some great updates for you guys and what we have accomplished in the last year. And I really want to recognize the team, Carrie, Nicole, Ben, and the trainers and all the folks that have been charter members that have been supporting us, and you know who you are, in a variety of our programs, including Thai Women. I think Oregon has come a long way. And I'm really proud to tell you that we are the #3 chapter in the world in terms of revenue, and the 3rd highest contributor to Thai Global in terms of their revenue. In terms of outcomes, nobody can match us. And people are looking up to us in terms of how we've implemented our youth program. Now they're wanting to talk to us about how we are supporting women and minorities. And then, our investment thesis of the opt-in angel program, and I spent like 4 years on the board, like promoting it. More chapters around the globe are adopting angel programs. And a lot of what they're doing is modeled after Thai Oregon. And we host Thai Global Angels, which Ben runs. And that has become a, kind of a magnet for investments across and within the network. And hopefully Ben might have some data to share. And we couldn't have done any of that without the support of our charter members. So I really appreciate every single one of you, because your time contribution and your financial contribution really makes a huge difference in our ability to make an impact. And I'm going to let Carrie talk about the Thai Foundation, and there's some really exciting things that are happening. So again, thank you so much for your support. Carrie?
Yep. Thanks, Nitin. Okay, so our agenda for tonight, the real premise of the annual meeting is to kind of get everybody kind of back on the same page, especially after a year that we've had. I think it's important to understand, what programs are still in place, what programs may have sunsetted, what programs are new, and it's a really good chance for you to learn about all the different engagement opportunities within your membership with Thai. And so that's really what this meeting is about, and getting to know the staff too. So, so we're going to get right into it. You can see the agenda here on the screen, so I won't go through it line by line. So I've had a lot of, one of the biggest things that we actually did this year is we activated our 501c3. It had been in the making for about the last 18 months, which has really been fantastic for us because it allows us to go after lots of different funding sources. Before with Thai Oregon, we just had the 501c6 arm. Now we have a 501c3 arm, and a real easy way to understand which one of our programs goes under each one of the buckets is to think about if it's more of a program that assists with the angel program, such as, some of the charter member events or Mentor Connect or Pitch Club that are really helping develop out pipeline for Thai Angels. That's going to stay under the 501c6. And then anything that's really more education oriented, such as the Thai Young Entrepreneurs and the Venture Catalyst position and some of those, the services that the Venture Catalyst is providing, those are going to be under the foundation. Now, the Thai University, the Thai Excel Entrepreneur Bootcamp, and the Thai Women Program are currently kind of straddling both of the organizations. We're hoping to move all three of the ones that you see, Thai University, Thai Excel, and Thai Women, over to the foundation. But we're kind of right in the middle of funding with those programs. So next year, we'll hopefully see those are fully promoted and supported by the foundation.
Carrie, can I add one comment to that?
Yes, of course.
The foundation is a charitable organization, so any contributions that are made to the foundation are tax deductible.
Yeah.
Correct. Okay.
So I put a slide together of all the staff. We actually have 14 staff members, 13 are paid. Here's a look at all of us. We have, 3 of us on the phone today, Ben, myself, and Nicole, but we do have a pretty robust team for a nonprofit. And again, we do a lot. So it's really important that we are able to fund these folks' roles appropriately. So I don't know if I need to go into further detail here, but we've got a full slate of great diverse staff in age, gender, and expertise. Here is our board. And we have a 12-member board, and we currently have 2 open positions. We are accepting applications for those 2 open positions. The deadline to apply is end of day Friday, this Friday, January 22nd. Qualifications and expectations of the board are that you must be a charter member who pays dues and must be current on their charter membership. You're expected to attend about 4 board meetings per year. And we expect you to participate in various tie-related events, including, leading or being a part of Mentor Connect or leading one of our programs. You can nominate yourself with 1 additional charter member support, or you can nominate another charter member with an additional charter member support. Those nominations, again, need to be into us by this Friday, January 22nd. Again, there's 2 open positions, and we will release nominations on January 26th, and you'll have until February 1st to cast your vote. So we should have a full board in place before the second week of February. Any questions on that before we move on? All right. And thank you to all of the charter members and the board members that you see on the screen for their service. We also have a TIE Oregon Foundation board, and this is what it looks like at this point. As I mentioned, we kind of just activated the foundation. So right now, our most recent member is Rob Johns, and he is Benson Polytechnic High School alumni, and is coming in with a lot of ideas on how we can grow the program within that high school, and then hopefully, have that be mirrored to other high schools throughout Portland Public Schools. So we're super excited to have Rob, who just recently joined, and thank you to all the others that are on the screen for participating on the board. Now, a quick look at 2020. I did send out the annual report, I believe, last week. If you haven't had a chance to look at it, please do so. I think that you'll be impressed with some of the successes that we've been able to have, especially given COVID year. And a lot of the program managers are going to go through some of the details that you see on the screen, but we were still able to have 87 events, and we, connected with, and this is just with the events. This doesn't include meetings that maybe some of our charter members have had, or even some of the one-on-ones that staff has had with entrepreneurs. But we've, just within the 87 events, we were able to connect with, almost 2,000 participants. So, again, with the year being like it was, I think these are really great numbers. One thing I will point out is, our traditionally we see about 5 to 10 investments per year. Even with COVID, we were able to invest in 7 companies. So that's all on our charter members, right? That's all because you are still willing to give the investment to the entrepreneurs. So thank you for that. All right, so we do a lot of programs, and we're going to just go through a few of them today, and again, describe some of the engagement opportunities that you have from being a charter member. So here's a snapshot of all that we do, and we'll get right into some of the details surrounding a few of the larger programs that we have to offer. The first one is actually not something that we've typically really taken an active role in. However, as our community, the Thai community continues to grow, we are being asked more and more by other associations to either help them with their advocacy or really lead the way. And so right now, Brent Bullock has been really great in helping me kind of vet out some of the partners that are in the ecosystem. And here's some of the partners that we've started to work with over the last 12 months. And you can see on the screen what each one of these associations are mostly focused in on. And I think, and Brent, I'm going to actually ask you to kind of jump in, because this today when we talked a little bit, you had some really good, you know, some we could do this, or we could do this, or we could do this. So I'm going to turn it over to you.
So thank you. So it won't surprise you, especially those board members or charter members who've been involved with Thai for a while. But from 10 plus years ago, when the organization got started to where it sits now, it's recognized as a very prominent and important part of the technology entrepreneurship, especially on the diversity and inclusion side of entrepreneurship. And as a result of that, many of the organizations that are looking to have an impact down at the state legislature are looking to Thai to be involved, engaged, and speaking out on different kinds of things, whether it's legislation, whether it's primarily legislative types of issues. And we've had conversations at the board level about the extent to which we either want to be an organization that is deeply involved in advocacy. I also serve on the board of the TAO, which actually we have a board meeting that's going on right now. So when I'm done with this meeting, I'll jump over to that one. But the TAO actually has a lobbyist that they pay for that goes down and works, and board members go down on a scheduled basis to Salem to actually meet with legislators. And also the legislators will reach out to the TAO to ask for comments on different types of legislation. We're seeing that now, and in fact, we have been on an informal basis working with these organizations when legislation has come up that we think can impact the members of our organization, or that we as an organization believe we can help be supportive of. So right now at the board level, we're having conversations. This is important from the charter member standpoint, but do we, like some of the other organizations, actually form a, become lobbyists, or at least do we establish an advocacy committee where we have either a board or a charter member and other members get together, so that when we do have legislative items that come up, when legislation is in front of us, whether it's independent contractor legislation or the Oregon Cares Act, if you're familiar with that, which is going to direct PPP dollars directly to Black entrepreneurs. Whether we as an organization, as opposed to we as individuals, and our voice is strong as a group, should be taking positions on those kinds of things. So it's something that we're currently evaluating. We are definitely looking for a charter member who would be interested in, serving, at least for now, maybe as a liaison on the advocacy side with some of these organizations, while we decide whether or not we want to formalize something more. Like I say, I don't know that we're up for actually going out and hiring a lobbyist, but our voice is very strong and powerful, and we need to be thoughtful about how it is that we might wield that with our legislators. Carrie, anything else, or Nitin?
I do. I can launch a poll. I have a poll that I put together. If you guys wouldn't mind obliging me to taking a brief poll about this advocacy while I turn it over to Nitin.
Yes, I just have a few things to say. Sorry, I have a banana in my mouth. I haven't had lunch. So just to give you sort of a little bit of a background on advocacy, I don't remember exactly when the Oregon Investment Act was approved. I think it was like 2012. And we were engaged at that point with TAO and OEN. And we actually recommended a lobbyist, Beth Cook, who then actually worked for TAO, who was very involved in this act that then produced the Oregon Growth Account and monies allocated towards fund-of-fund investments from the state of Oregon through the Oregon Growth Account. And at that time, the way I was sort of reeled in was that there was something called the Oregon Growth Fund, and there was like $2 million allocated to the Growth Fund that would make available grant money to organizations like TIE for mentoring. And so I went out and I lobbied and I went and testified and so on and so forth. So while it got approved, but then the board changed the plans and basically said, no, we're not going to do grants, which now they are post-COVID. And they allocated all of that money for investment. And so then I got approached by one of the board members to say, hey, why don't you create a little fund, which we did, me and Veracel, who's still involved in that. We ended up creating the TAP fund, which while TIE cannot create a fund, we created like this little sidecar fund where Vera and I invested, and we were able to get $250,000 from the state of Oregon through the Oregon Growth Fund. And we used those funds to co-invest with TIE Angels. So there is value in being involved in the right programs, advocacy programs, because of, and this was 8 years ago, and TIE is in a whole different place. And I think we lead alongside MISO as organizations that are really committed towards diversity and inclusion. And as you'll see some of the results in terms of what we have done in the last 5 years, and it's really significant. And the outcomes are really significant, including our angel program. So I think we have a powerful voice, and if we can lend the voice to the right kinds of initiatives, I think we can make a difference, and it could somewhat, in some ways, benefit TIE in terms of our ability to make more impact, which is what we are all here about, is impacting our local community. Anyway, back to you, Carrie.
No, thank you. Okay, so thank you, Nitin. So we've had 11 folks vote so far. I'll continue to just leave the poll open. But just if you are interested in leading this effort or assisting, please let me know. For instance, we got 3 bills from our partner organization asking us to go through them and decide if this is something that TIE Oregon wants to support just in the last 72 hours. There's more than 400 bills currently going through legislation right now. And so if this is something that you're passionate about, know that we're here to help. It's not going to be completely all on you, but this would really, I think, make a statement for TIE and also just be a load off of us. So anyways, please take the poll and we'll get back to you on that. All right, so we are actually going to, Brent, do you have anything else to add before I move along?
No, that's it.
Okay, great.
Can you send the poll again, Carrie? I don't see it.
Oh, it should still be up there. Is nobody else seeing it?
I'm seeing how to engage slide. Is it just me?
No,
yeah.
Down below, there should be a little poll. It should say poll down below.
Oh, okay, I got it. It was up at the top. Thanks.
Yes, thank you. Okay. So I'm actually going to step ahead a little bit because we have another, we're going to actually, sorry about this, but we're going to talk about the charter member events and how we are kind of doing things a little bit different this year. I'm going out of order here, so I apologize, but okay. So in years past, we have had charter member meetings or events that take place about every quarter, but we've also had investment meetings, the TIE Angel investment meetings that happen about every 4 to 6 weeks. What we've decided to do this year is to combine those and offer those. And I'm actually really going out of order here, but we're going to go ahead and have those happen every 3rd Tuesday of the month from 3 to 5 p.m. So this would be the first of the 12 that we will offer through the calendar year. And we felt like it would just be a really great, succinct way of knowing, okay, every 3rd Tuesday of the month, I've got a TIE meeting and it will consist of investor meetings that Ben will continue to run, or it could also just be a panel discussion, or we could even just get on the phone and kind of talk about topics of the day. Brigitte Pinueski, who is on our board, had this idea. I think it's great. She's got a lot of other ideas, but we just wanted to give you a heads up and let you know that we're hoping that this works with everybody. If it doesn't, I will be sending out a survey after today, and you can let us know what day and time would work better for you, and we will go with whatever works best for everyone. This is kind of just our guess of what might work. And I will turn this over to Brigitte, and she can talk a little bit. She really has done a lot of work on the last year's programming, so I'm going to turn it over to her with what we did last year and what her thoughts are for the new year.
Hi, everyone. A little bit unstable, so let me know if I need to drop my video. But yes, this came out of multiple conversations with charter members that said, oh gosh, I would have liked to come to that meeting, and it wasn't on my calendar. And so many of our events ask that you register, and that's calendar, and that doesn't work well for most of our charter members. So this way, we thought, put something on the calendar at the same time every month, and then just work on managing the content of that time slot to be the best value for each of our charter members. And so we thought this would solve some of these issues around charter members really wanting to participate in different things, but somehow missing it with their massively, many streams coming in from all directions, and then finding out that the event has happened already and they've missed it. So this is the third Tuesday. Carrie, is that correct?
Correct.
Yeah, third Tuesday of every month. And the main part of the meeting, of course, will be the investment portion. So Ben will run that in terms of the upcoming startups that are looking for investment. But then in order to ensure that we're providing good value, we also like to provide other programs. These in the past have covered things, as I mentioned earlier, cryptocurrency and chain investments, as some of the more pressing issues around tech and society, such as we had a session on the social dilemma and what to do next. We've also had sessions on cannabis investing. We actually have a community of amazing experts here in Oregon that we've always been able to take advantage of. But the other thing that we've noticed is within our charter membership, there is such diversity of expertise and experience that so often, especially with COVID, we don't have a chance to really capture that in a way that will help us make the most impact in our community. So getting to know each other better, we thought one of the added programs we'd like to provide is not a separate program, but just to fill in the time as well, is the opportunity to interview or have our charter members share a little bit more about their backstory. Rather than the 2 lines that we have time for at the beginning of meetings, this would be, a 5-10 minute or longer interview of one of our charter members or more, so that we can start to have a better feeling for who everybody is and keep up with the diversity that's coming in as new membership. So we might tackle some mix of old and new membership to start with. And I would invite everybody on the call to just give me a quick note if you would in fact like to be interviewed first or within the first batch. I look forward to getting a quick list together. So with that, Carrie, I'll hand it back to you.
Great, thank you so much. Does anybody have any questions regarding the charter member events?
I really like this format. Thank you, Brigitte, for taking a lead on it. You've done an amazing job already. But I think integrating, the charter members and, we need to get to know each other. And, the organization has grown. We're not having face-to-face meetings. Not everybody attends the Angel meetings. So I think tying it in with the Angel pipeline review and making it more interesting. I think Seattle kind of used to do it, but it kind of went out of hand, and then it didn't work because it became more events than actual investment, but we've got such a strong foundation of making investments that tying it in with, a way to socially sort of connect with and get to know each other, and then bringing in some interesting topics and making it more frequent on a cadence, I think is a great idea. So thank you for leading this.
I hope everybody else welcomes it as well.
No, I agree. As a relatively new person, I think this would be amazingly useful. Either way, thanks, Brigitte.
Thank you, Kalpana.
Okay,
All right.
great. Yeah, so I will again be sending out the survey. If that third Tuesday of the month doesn't work, just make sure and make note of that, and we'll hopefully adjust. And hopefully, we're going to take a look at this in 6 months. We're hoping that things are going to change, and maybe we'll get back to more in person, which means maybe we want to spend more time together than 2 hours. So it's still fluid, but I think for, let's just have at least for the first 6 months of the year, a designated time to get together. All right. Thanks, Brigitte. And now we're going to float back up to the Thai Young Entrepreneur Program. And I'm going to stop sharing and turn it over to Nicole Maris, who heads up the Thai Young Entrepreneurs Program. And she's going to talk to you a little bit about that and how to get engaged.
Great. Thank you, Carrie. I'm just going to share my screen here. Okay. Let's see. There we go. Okay, great. So I'm going to share a little bit about the Thai Young Entrepreneurs Program, or TYE as we refer to it, which aims to inspire and empower high school students to be the next generation of entrepreneurs and business leaders. So this is our TYE Oregon Manifesto, which you can kind of read through. But what I really want to highlight is TYE uses invention and entrepreneurship as a tool to teach 21st century skills to our future generation of leaders. So we're not necessarily creating co-founders of startups, although sometimes this does happen. But the skills students learn can be applied to all walks of life, such as creative problem solving, working with and leading teams of their own, or just working through challenging situations with grace and grit. We had a student one year who she was failing a class and really didn't know what to do. And she said as part of the program, she was able to actually talk to her teacher and ask why she was failing the class and see what she needed to do to be more successful. So what is TYE? So TYE, the program teaches entrepreneurship through a hands-on invention curriculum. And students are actively building a business by inventing a product, or they're creating a service based on a problem that they want to solve in their community, and they're coming up with a solution. So there are basically 2 tracks to the program. We have an in-school program, which runs during the school day, and students receive credit for taking the TYE program. And then we have a community-based program, which runs, it runs during the school year as well, but the meetings are on 2 Sundays per month, and that's open to all students in the Portland metro area. And this year we're virtual, so we opened it up across the state of Oregon, and we combined with Thai Seattle this year. So a few things that students learn: they build prototypes, they're inventing new technology, they're working in teams, they're learning how to talk to and engage customers, they develop business models and products, and especially they work with mentors and industry experts in the community who support them and throughout the program, as well as sometimes after the program. And then they have an opportunity to pitch for cash prizes. These are some of the lessons that are taught throughout the program: business models, customer validation, execution, teamwork, presentation skills, as well as sustainability. So there's a focus on environmental sustainability as well as corporate responsibility that they include in their business. So this is where we are currently this school year with TYE students. We have 87 students right now across 5 different programs. Just due to the way the school year worked, and with some of the schools dividing up their programs by semester, we actually are going to be adding 4 more programs in the spring semester at Benson and Madison High School. So we anticipate another 80 to 90 students. I want to highlight that 68% of our students identify as students of color, and 30% said that they come from a low-income background. And this is just a little bit of our program impact that from our survey results at the end of the this 2020 program. 92% of students understand the importance of empathy, talking to customers, gaining key insights. 84% understand the concept of design thinking. And 79% of students are enthusiastic about some subjects in school. And I just want to say one of our goals too is to engage students in STEM by allowing them to solve a problem that is of interest to them with a solution that they come up with. So they use science or technology, engineering and math to work on their solution. And so after the program, 78% of students can see themselves in a STEM career. And then 75% of students report they have a mentor that supports their success. And I'm just going to share a little bit about some of the teams that have gone through the program so you kind of get an idea of what they work on. This was a team from Benson High School. They created they grew their own seaweed leather. So they went through that scientific process, and then they created a biodegradable waterproof shoe. They worked with mentors from Pencil Academy that they are still in contact with today. And they showcased their shoe at Portland Design Week and a TEDx Mount Hood event. This was a team from our community program, AquaTrack, invented a device that measures water consumption for those who need to measure their water. They actually participated in the New Venture Championship through the University of Oregon College of Business, which they won in 2019. And then actually the team lead, Dan, is also, he's still in contact with his mentor, who's kind of helped him through college application processes. And then this was Team Pasta Straws from Lincoln High School. They created an environmentally friendly pasta straw. They were the most recent team to win the 2020 TYE state competition, in which they represented TIE Oregon at the global competition, and they won an award for best customer validation. And this was actually our first in-class team to go to the TYE global competition, and they were led by Fenella, a female CEO. So this is kind of what TYE looks like this year. We are completely virtual, so students are collaborating at home. Sometimes they don't always turn on their screens, but you know, when they do, they've been showing off their inventions. We got every student an invention toolkit so they could prototype. And these are just kind of some of the things that they've created. They've also been working with new tools such as Mural and Airtable to collaborate on Lean Canvas and different projects together. This is our amazing team of instructors, Shashi, Leah, Travis, and Trish. They go into the classroom or teach the community program. They're entrepreneurs, they're experts in their field, and they've just done an amazing job with the curriculum, especially this year, turning all the curriculum virtual. And so they really lead the program and work with the students all the time, not just when they're teaching, but outside of the class as well. And I just want to highlight our contributors, the Lemelson Foundation, Collins Foundation, Oregon Community Foundation, and the Oregon Youth Development Council. And then we couldn't do it without the support of the TIE charter members who volunteer or mentor or just come and judge some of our events. So this just wouldn't happen without everyone involved. So some next steps and how you can get involved if you are interested. One of the biggest ways that you can get involved is to become a mentor. So as I mentioned, over 75% of students say their mentor helps in their success, and some of the students still continue to talk with their mentors even after the program. So our goal is to have one dedicated mentor per team. We currently have 22 teams, and then with the addition of 4 more programs in the spring, we're anticipating that to increase. So we really would love your help in terms of mentoring. If you want more information, we're having a mentor info session this Friday, January 22nd at noon. I could post these links in the chat after too, so you don't have to take them down now. But that's a time to learn kind of more about being a mentor. We typically ask mentors to come to about 2 to 3 sessions per month. So it's approximately 2.5 to 3 hours time commitment per month. If you already know that you want to be a mentor, we have, like I said, 22 teams right now that are already started and ready to go. So I could send you the list of teams so you can look it over and see if there's a team or a school that is of interest to you. And for more information, you can contact our program coordinator, Jill, or you can contact me if you're interested too in being a mentor. And we ask that all mentors do just go through a background check prior to mentoring. If you don't think you have time to be a mentor but still want to be involved, we'd love for you to just follow our updates. We have a quarterly newsletter, as well as if you know of a school that might be interested in the TYE program or students who are interested in attending the community program, feel free to have them get in contact with us or share this information. Also, if you just want to volunteer for a one-time event, hopefully when we're in person again soon, we'll have event volunteers, but also all our competitions will be virtual in the spring. So we're always looking for judges to judge our competition. So that's another way to be involved as well. If you want to just present on a topic of expertise, you can come to one class, or if you are looking for some free work, you can host a summer intern. All the students have learned all this curriculum and they're ready and excited to apply it after the program. So thank you so much. And I will share these links, but feel free to also contact me at the information there.
Thank you so much, Nicole. I think we have time for a question or two if anybody has one regarding the TIE Excel program. I don't see anything, or I'm sorry, the TIE Young Entrepreneur program. I don't see anything in the chat. And again, we're going to be following up with not only these slides, but the links and other information that Nicole spoke of. We also have Shashi Jain here, who is the, not to call you out here, Shashi, but I see you just joined. He is the Global Education Director. Do you have anything to add, Shashi?
Yeah, I was just going to put out a call for high school students. If you know a high school student who is interested in entrepreneurship or should be, you know, thinking about entrepreneurship as a career path, TYE is one of the most transformative programs you can send them to. And especially now that we're all virtual, we have students from mostly the Portland area, but also from around Oregon. You know, it's never too late to join up for this year. And we will be returning in the fall as well if they want to go through the whole thing. But it's not a program where you learn the theory. You learn by building a startup, and this is a place where the students get to do things that they never thought they could do, and they discover things about themselves that they didn't think were possible. So when we see students come out, and Nicole showed you the impact by the numbers, but the impact in the kind of students and the things that they are able to do and the possibility thinking that they leave with is just incredible. So a little bit of time and effort that you put in can have a wildly outsized impact in a student's life. And I can tell you that after doing this for a number of years, it never gets old. So please put in some time.
Yeah, I can say not only Shashi Nitin has been instrumental in getting this started, as Diane Freeman, who's also a board member and on the line. So yeah.
I want to also recognize Kant Gopalpur and some of the early folks like Jim Houston, Vera Sell, who are no longer with TIE, but still remembered fondly for their work. But absolutely Diane Freeman, to use her connections to get us into Benson and get connected to Rob Johns, who was instrumental in talking to the head of Benson High School to get this program introduced. And I maybe Rob, you'd like to say a few words, because nobody knows you, and I think you're the catalyst that has really driven this adoption of Benson. And now you're coming on as charter member and joining the foundation board. I mean, we are super excited for you to be involved, and you're a passionate human being and you do so much for these kids. So I'd love for you to say a few words.
Well, Nitin, thank you. And I appreciate it. It's an honor to be a part of this fantastic group and what you do. I hope I'm not on mute.
No, you're not.
Okay. So in any respect, I think back to convincing people that this was a good thing to do, in the belief that what you brought was a good thing to have. And you've just repeated this over, and I just want to make it get deeper within both Benson Tech and Portland Public Schools. It's just trying to lift more boats, if you will. So I'll be active in this mentor session. I look forward to learning more things. I'm excited to be a part of what you've offered in the Elevate side. There's just so much here, and it's so well constructed. I'm so impressed by the administrative folks in this. It's just really great to be here.
We've got a great team, very passionate, with Nicole, Carrie, and Shashi, and everybody else, those instructors that we've got. I mean, this organization is like our crown jewel. And I tell even at the global level that the TYE program globally is the crown jewel of TIE, because we're building a pipeline of young entrepreneurs from all walks of life, leveling the playing field, focusing on underserved kids. That it's the most amazing thing that we do, which is why Lemelson is and some other foundations that have stepped up in the last few years, thanks to some work by Nicole and Carrie in filing grant applications after grant applications. And I hope we cover like what we've got right now. But it's really exciting for TIE Oregon to lead the way, and also making the impact, in more and more schools across the state.
Fantastic. All right. Thank you, Nicole. Thank you, everybody, for your involvement with TYE. It, again, is just an amazing program. So I'm going to go ahead and kick back into our PowerPoint. And we have another awesome program to tell you about. It's TIE University. It's somewhat mirrored after the TIE Young Entrepreneur Program. And I was lucky enough to wrangle in David Smith about, 8 months ago to help me kind of really figure out how we're going to take this global program and be very impactful locally. So I'm going to turn it over to David. David?
Great, thanks, Carrie. So yeah, TIE University, sort of following along with a little bit of the discussion, or maybe the theme of TYE. If you look actually at the mission statement for TIE, and actually the final line of it says, TIE's focus is on generating and nurturing the next generation of entrepreneurs. So TYE focusing really on the high school level folks. TIE University is looking at how to empower college students to become entrepreneurs from worldwide. It's actually a worldwide program within TIE Global. And what Carrie has up in front of us is the objectives for TIE University at the global level. TIE Oregon has been participating actually for This will be, I think, our third year now, Carrie, if I'm remembering the numbers correctly. But the objective for TIE Global with the TIE University is to try and engage 400 universities by 2023, utilizing 40 of the TIE chapters globally. And we're actually well on track to do that. Locally, what we'd like to do locally is Oregon is to engage targeted 6 universities. And so what you'll see actually in the next couple of slides is who has been engaged. And what's interesting when you look at the universities in Oregon, be it Oregon State, University of Oregon, Portland State University, a number of the other schools around the states, they all have active entrepreneur programs at the university or college level. And there are actually a number of programs within the state that are engaging college students in this. And so it is a global competition. We'll show you something of the timeline for the program. And really, you know, Carrie now has up the benefits to the students, but it's a lot of what you've heard already, one through just your participation in TIE and the introduction of startup companies or nascent entities to the TIE community, but also the benefit to the university students and the companies that they're putting together. It's connection with business mentors, it's startup boot camp, it's all the things you hear about within TIE, but it's actually structured around an objective not only from a local competition, but really also one that's a global competition with mentoring and workshops that will go on through the year. And it ends or culminates in a competition at TIECon in the, I'll get the date wrong, Carrie, but I believe it was in the May type timeframe, where teams actually compete globally for pretty significant funds as well as in kind. But just think of it as kind of the TIE Angel, but at the college level. And so here are 2 examples of participants from the Oregon, TIE Oregon chapter. We had a team from Oregon State University about 2 years ago, 2019. They went and competed globally, did quite well. And then last year, there was a selection. We chose a team from Portland State University to be our representative. And I mentored them along with Carrie's help to compete at the global level. And this was a team, Ray Dam out of Portland State University. So the next slide. This is the timeline. So we're in the January 2021. So Carrie and I are working to connect and engage and onboard, if you'd like, a number of the schools, a number of teams from the schools, if you'd like. There's an application process that Carrie and I are working through. And then we're going to have a selection process. And what we'd like to be able to do is select a number of teams and then to provide mentors to the team. So similarly to what you've heard about TYE, part of the charter member participation in this is to mentor the teams, talk to them very much like what we do in our office hours with startup companies. Many of the things that we do with some of the other small and nascent startups that we're engaged with as charter members. And so from an engagement standpoint, we're looking to find folks who are interested in mentoring, to be part of the mentor pool, if you'd like, for the teams, working also with universities and colleges that already have well-established entrepreneur programs to really get engaged with them through the TIE community. As I said, there is an infrastructure already within the state, and we'd like to tap into that as a TIE organization. So we're looking for folks who would be interested in mentoring. If you're interested in that, then clearly reach out to Carrie or myself. We also are not shy people, so we may be reaching out to other folks within the community and chatting with them a little bit about what their interest is. A tremendous amount of information. It's a really well-resourced program at the global level. There's a lot of energy behind this at the global level for this program. And again, it builds upon what you heard. It's really developing the broader community of entrepreneurship, building and nurturing the young folk, not the old gray-haired people like myself, but actually to engage the folks that are, in their early teens, or excuse me, late teens and early 20s, who are trying to figure out what does it mean to build a company? What does it mean to have a business plan? What does it mean to go pitch to an angel investor? What are folks looking for from an investment standpoint? So there's a lot that we can provide as a community, and Thai University is a great way to do that. So if you're interested, please reach out to myself or to Carrie. Carrie, I think that's the last slide.
Yep. Thank you so much, David.
Sure. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Any questions? I went through that pretty quickly.
Yeah. Any questions?
Man, that was something awesome.
We're going to be reaching out to y'all, just so you know. Oh, look, we got Ross. We got Ross here. Hey, Ross, you want to give it? You want to go off mute for just a minute and say a bit about yourself and how long you've been a charter member?
Yeah, sure. Sorry, everybody, I was late. I actually got my vaccination today. Isn't that Yeah. So let's see. I've been a Thai member now for 3 years, 4 years. It's been great, and Thai does some amazing work. I've attended a lot of the pitch contests and a lot of the stuff that Carrie is a superstar. She seems to be everywhere all the time. And I think it's a super important thing. I've spoken with, a lot of folks that attended Thai programs, whether they were, young folks or people that were really interested in, starting a company. You need to know where to start. And, it's enriched all of those people's lives. Like they've all made comments to me about how eye-opening the program was for them. I actually had one guy, we spent actually an evening together where, young guy, he had no idea that this existed. And that when it was out of that conversation that I realized how that absence of knowledge, how it creates a ceiling for people. Like it creates a place that they can't grow past because they just don't know there's anything beyond the line. And as soon as you show them, it's very eye-opening. So my background is I'm an entrepreneur. I've started and sold 3 companies here in town. I'm an investor in Elevate and participant in Thai. And now I've got another company called Tool Belt that's been going along really well. And so I guess that's all I can say about myself.
Yeah, no, thank you so much. Thanks for joining. I'm glad you got the vaccination. Let us know how the side effects, if there are any,
eye or something like that.
So let us know. Keep us posted. We're here for you. Okay. So now we're going to turn it over to Heather Samarin, and I always slaughter your last name, and I apologize. I'm going to get it right sooner or later. I've known you now for like close to 3 years. Help me, girl. I got to get it right sooner or later.
Samarin.
Samarin. Yeah. It's not that hard. It's really not. Okay.
You're not the only one.
Turn it over to Heather. This is another, just to preface it, this is another global program that we're implementing locally. And we've been doing so for the last 12 months. So there you go, Heather.
Yeah, so, the mission is really about embracing women entrepreneurs and empowering them with data, support, and help through this journey, right? They hold very similar challenges that every entrepreneur does. But in addition to that, there's some additional challenges that we're trying to help and address through this program. And it's been really fun to sort of kick this off for Oregon this last year. We still have some learning to do and some data to gather, but I think we're moving forward. So just a recap of last year, we launched locally in January. This program has been global, I think, for 1.5 years, 2 years. We had 9 events with about 250 participants over those 9 events. And we were able to get to all stage entrepreneurs, right? From new ideas, just sort of kicking off the idea, getting some support on how to push it forward, to companies that were in market needing help or funding or the like. Yo Massage, which is one of our entrepreneurs, they went through and all the way through to the Thai Women's Global Competition, the pitch competition in Dubai. Carrie, is there an update on where they landed on on that competition? Do we have?
So they did not make it into the finals, but I have a call set up with them in the next couple of days, so we'll learn more. But I think that overall they were still just overwhelmed by the amount of content that they received prior to going to Dubai in form of, workshops and mentorship, that it kind of, and the fact that we were able to fundraise about, half of their travel expenses, made it all worthwhile.
Yeah.
Well, I want to add something to it. I didn't watch I wasn't well, so I couldn't watch the finals, but what I've heard is everybody that went to Dubai had a great experience. Unfortunately, only one US team, they made it to number 3. It was a company out of New York. But, we got a pitch through, so Ben hosted the TGA event, and there were, 12 or 13 companies. And I kid you not, these companies were so good, including Yumasat didn't present, but, there's so many women entrepreneurs from these chapters, and 2 of them actually have gotten a fair amount of funding already from Thai Boston and Thai Atlanta, and they're going to appear on the Thai Global, TGA, and it's getting circled around in various chapters. That this program has really, and thanks to Dharti and Hema, and I'm on the advisory committee, and it just we've taken this whole thing to another level globally, And the number of women entrepreneurs that have been mentored. And thanks to you, Heather, I want to recognize you for what an amazing job you did with this. And not only that, but even with the Thai Excel program and, getting the content all solved and volunteering your time. I really appreciate what you do for Thai Oregon. But it's like, this is the other crown jewel that we've created, is making impact on women entrepreneurs. And many of these entrepreneurs are minority entrepreneurs. So I think Thai is going to go, to a whole new level globally in terms of supporting women entrepreneurs. And there's a number of initiatives that are coming out of Thai Atlanta and other chapters that are really focusing now their energies on women. And guess where this came from? It came from us. We are the source. So not only have we led on the Angels and the TYE program, but what we've done in the Thai Excel program and what we've done as angel investors in very early supporting women entrepreneurs is all showing up in the rest of the world. So, and it takes a village to do it, and we've got a great village here. So thank you, Heather.
Oh, thank you. And it's been fun. This is a passion of mine. I've been very blessed in my career, and in so many aspects, including in just the startup world. And so it's wonderful to just help these women gain the confidence and see them get the confidence they need and the support, so they feel supported, and see, light bulbs go off and milestones hit, and it's an awesome time.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, and a thought just came to mind, because like 5-6 years ago, we were in a board meeting, and I think I made a comment about we should do something for women. And Diane, Diane's the smartest person I know, and she's such a champion of what we do. And she made this comment. She goes, well, if you want to do something, then just do it. Don't talk about it. I don't know if you remember this, Diane. I don't know if you remember this comment, and it stuck with me.
Yes.
And the following year, the board became 50% women. And so I want to thank Diane for being this catalyst that she ever is.
Having a big mouth.
Well, you have, because your words matter and they have an impact.
No, I think it's amazing. And I think what's really amazing, Nitin, is that it's recognized in the community as having an effect. I mean, it's one thing for us all to say, oh, this is great, look what we've done.
Yeah.
I think that the fact that it's actually has had an effect in the community is really the winning stamp of approval.
Yeah, and I think we're still learning, right? This was our first year. We were sort of testing different content or themes to see what resonated. And this first year, I think we tested a bunch of different things. We implemented a a pitch club, right? So women could feel a safe space to practice their pitches. And we had multiple women actually, or multiple teams pitching multiple times just to get better, build that confidence and feel confident about pitching. And so that was fun to see, right? The evolution of the women progressing with their business model and their thinking and just their level of confidence in pitching. But we're still learning, and so we've tested some things like function of the month, where you can we have an expert coming in from a particular function, like operations, building a tech team, hiring and recruiting or scaling fast. So different financials, right? Building the P&L or financial projections. So creating some content to give and creating workshops or working sessions where women can work together and have a safe environment to ask questions and again, build their confidence. That's the biggest theme that we hear, is sort of two aspects of that. One is just my own self-confidence and, oh, can I do it? And if I don't have the answer, should I even bother, right? So that's one theme that we hear. The other theme is just perceived confidence. That, I walk into a pitch room, they don't perceive me as confident. And, we've got a lot of data too around just sort of that perceived confidence of women in the boardroom, in the pitch room. And so we've been working hard to help build confidence and giving techniques and tools to these women in all different aspects of their business, negotiation and the like. So it's been really fun. So, next, I think our measures of success we're still building, right? Is it number of entrepreneurs? Is it the positive impact via surveys, right? Just self-reported through the entrepreneurs, I feel more confident, I learned a ton. Or is it the number of pitches that they've done? Is it funding? So we're working through some of the metrics that we're going to be tracking from here on out. And so I think stay tuned for the definition of success, but there's going to be some form of, are we attracting more women entrepreneurs into the house and supporting more of them? And are they moving into funding and pitching rooms? Increasing charter membership is a big one, right? We want more women to support women. And so bringing more smart women to the charter membership. We're already 50%, which is probably I think it's the best in globally, which I think we're far ahead of everyone, but increasing that presence and the engagement of the women entrepreneurs with these women is really helpful. Now, I think mentorship, both men and women for this group is right. But it does help to have that that influence and that example of successful women in entrepreneurship that gives women a lot of confidence. So we're working on what those measures should be. For 2021, we're going to a similar format to what the charter membership meetings are going to be. Same time, same place every month, making it easier to plan. We're going to be changing the format just a little bit. We're still going to continue some of the content that we learned worked. We're still going to have our pitch clubs, but we're going to test some additional content and also open it up for sort of support, right? So asking a question about a challenge that happened this month. So making it more of a community as opposed to a presentation of content. I think is going to be important for this group to feel like they're getting supported personally, as well as getting sort of content that will help them learn and evolve going forward. How can you help? So of course, mentorship, I think we're hearing that over and over again here. Mentoring these women are helpful. I sit with some of these, Yo Massage is somebody that I work with, just simple questions like, how do I negotiate this tech application building contract, right? Things like that, where you may not think that you have what the team needs, but simple things that really make a huge difference. And so I really implore everyone to jump into the mentoring. if you're a function of the month expert, so we'll talk about different expertises over time. And so if you want to volunteer and let me know what functions that you're really good at. So I'm good in the tech, building a tech team, managing a development team. If you're good at financials, if you're good at pitching, if you're, having a tool chest of really good experts to come in and help them with some of the more basic operational or functional areas of business is always helpful. I might tap you for being part of a panel depending on what the topic is, or potentially even moderating. It's always fun. Those nights are really fun. And then, of course, donate funding, sponsoring a program for the women would be great too. So those are some options. So that's it. I'm Heather Samarin, again, charter member for the last few years, and just helping Carrie get this program off the ground, and happy to answer questions or solicit your help if you want it for future events.
Thank you, Heather. I think you're all starting to see a trend here. A lot of our events kind of follow the similar trajectory, which has come along actually since, in the last 5 years, as to what Nitin was saying is, we've got these global programs that we're delivering locally, and then they roll back up to a global competition. So they're all very similar, but different because, especially with the Thai women's programs, we're finding that, it is a little bit different. Even, with the youth, it's a little bit different. They're all a little bit different. And so we're trying to meet people where they are and provide that local touch point locally that will get them success globally.
Carrie, can I add one more thing to this?
Of course.
Which I think is very important. And you and everybody else is behind all this, is that we are so outcomes focused. It's not about running an event. It's about what value did we deliver? What was the outcome? We are so good, and hopefully you guys saw that in the report that Carrie sent out. We are the only chapter that actually has an impact report because we have the data, because we've been collecting the data. And I think there's opportunities on the youth side, even on the Excel side, to continually, and we are working on that. Carrie is working on that to sort of figure out how far can we take this so that we can really measure. And this is what the foundations love, right? That we've got impact, but we can actually point out to data to say, here's what we did. I think this is going to be the next thing that we're going to share with the global organization. Carrie and I have talked about it once this report is, there's a few tweaks that we got to do. This is another place that we're taking leadership. And we're a small chapter in the middle, in Portland, not that Portland's Podunk. But that's the beauty. And it's, again, I go back to the quality of our charter members, the mind power that we bring, and the commitment that we have, and the team, and those charter members like Heather that's really intimately involved in supporting programs is what's making us very, very unique. And it's putting us at the top of the pyramid in terms of a very highly focused impact organization that's really making a difference in the entrepreneur space, whether it's women, youth, everybody. So again, I want to recognize the team for what they have delivered with every one of these programs.
Thank you, Nitin. And just to clarify, so the report that was sent out was more of an annual report, but we are now engaging with a third-party consultant to do a impact report that will go and look at our program's impact for the last 24 months and give us kind of a snapshot of where we're at and reasons to grow in the future. So that's coming up within the next 6 to 8 months. Okay, so I'm gonna go through and get to Thai Excel Bootcamp. We have about 30 minutes left. The Thai Excel Bootcamp, okay, is 30 hours of instruction, and it's created by entrepreneurs for entrepreneurs, and it's instructed by entrepreneurs. And since its conception in 2016, we have had about 200 entrepreneurs go through the program. 57% of them are female and 65% of them are from minority descent. And again, I just want to stress the reason why we even started the TIE Excel Bootcamp was when I first started with TIE, I was just sending entrepreneurs out to meet with all of our charter members, including Nitin and Diane, and not to continue to pick on you guys, but you guys kind of said, hey, wait a minute, can you streamline this a bit? Can you give them some instructions so that we're not wasting their time, they're not wasting our time, we're going on all of these coffees. And a lot of times these entrepreneurs really haven't even thought about what the product market fit is, or they have no idea what the word traction really means. And so again, we couldn't have done it without, I couldn't have done it without the direction of the board in saying, hey, we've got to put some sort of curriculum together. And of course, we quickly reached out to the TYE team and said, hey, can we borrow some of your curriculum so we can start putting together some modules and get something in place so that entrepreneurs are ready after these 30 hours to start talking meaningfully with mentors and or engaging with other organizations that can get them to the next level. Heather was, again, instrumental in helping us create that content, but we did steal a lot of it from the TYE program. Here is kind of a look at our instructors. We've got a diverse set of instructors in gender, race, and industry. And we offer scholarships through Prosper Portland. So this is 30 hours of instruction. This isn't, this is about $1,000 course, and we're able to get it covered through our partnership with Prosper Portland. So that's been great. Again, we've put about 200 folks through the boot camp. Now, here's the thing: are all of these? Here's what we talk about. We talk about, here's some of the topics that we talk about in the boot camp, and here's some of the end results. Everybody walks away with a 30, 60, 90-day plan, a pitch deck, a complete lean canvas, knowing that clearly these things are going to change. It's all fluid, but at least they have the tools and they understand how to go out and figure out how to go out and interview prospects so that they can find their product market fit, so that when they are in a coffee with a Nitin Rai or a Diane Freeman, they know how to answer some of these questions. So this is what they end up with. Or when I turn them over to Ben for pre-screening. Here's some of the success that we've had so far. Again, we're just really trying to get them ready to vet their idea, right? So again, we've put through about 200 people through the program. One of the other great things about the program is a lot of these entrepreneurs just recognize that their idea just isn't going to work in the marketplace, and so which is fine, right? Or they figure out how to pivot to a different idea. But that's one of the beauties of the program. Not everybody's going to have a huge success from the program, but it's really having them take a step back and understanding, okay, before you quit your job or before you spend your retirement on making a prototype or an MVP, let's really figure out, is this something that can be implemented in the marketplace for a profit? But here are some of the successes that we've had so far. And Prosper Portland continues to offer scholarships. So the next cohort is set to open in February, and we currently have about 30 people that have applied to attend the TIE Excel Bootcamp. So since 2016, it has really grown in popularity throughout Oregon. And similarly, we're always looking for folks to mentor these teams and also teach content. So if you have any interest, please let me know. Okay, moving on. So Tom Kingsley, who is another charter member, leads up Pitch Club, and Mentor Connect closely aligns with Pitch Club. This is something that we offer the third Wednesday afternoon of every month. And basically it's just a one-on-one consultation, if you will. It's 30 minutes with 4 entrepreneurs. We ask that the charter members participate in this. All you have to do is show up. TIE staff brings in all of the entrepreneurs for you. This is a really great way to, and a very organic way and a light touch way for you to engage with up and coming entrepreneurs. And if you choose to engage with them further afterwards, you can do that, or you might refer them to other people within your network. So again, this takes place on the third Wednesday afternoon of the month, and you can sign up to mentor there at that tiny URL that's at the bottom of the screen that I will send to you after tonight's program. And then Pitch Club. So Pitch Club takes place directly after Mentor Connect, and this also takes place on the third Wednesday of the month. And basically it's a mock investor meeting where participants receive feedback from their peers and charter members. And this is a direct pipeline into the TIE Angels. We've seen time and time again. One of them, I think the most famous ones is RFPIO, who came through Pitch Club and worked with Tom and, you know, got him introduced into the TIE Angel group and has been very successful with that, with the TIE Angels program. So again, it's a lightweight way to engage with entrepreneurs. David Smith has been coming ever since he first became a charter member, and it's fun. I mean, it's just an enjoyable evening. You get a lot of really great new ideas. You don't have to stay for the whole thing, but what we really need out of our charter members is for you to attend and give feedback, because that is what the entrepreneurs want. They're there to practice not only their pitch, but get some really great feedback on the validity of their company. David, do you have anything to add?
No, of all of the programs, I enjoy TIE University very much as well, but this is really fun. It's been great to see and engage with the folks in the community, the folks who are actually coming out of the TIE Excel boot camp and then coming and pitching here at the Pitch Club. And then I see them coming to the TIE Angel that Ben hosts, and maybe even some of them that are even successful go on to TIE Global. So it's really a lot of fun. And when we meet in person, Carrie also brings wine. So it's always just very good bribes.
Yeah, I remember the last time we were at a Pitch Club in person was in Hillsborough. We had pizza, wine, and we might have had coronavirus in the room. I don't know. But it was the same day that the NBA stopped their program, like literally stopped playing. So it was crazy.
It's been great. And it works also really well with regards to the virtual.
No, totally. Yeah.
And Tom does a great job of, along with Carrie, of shepherding the program in the evening. And it's great. It really is an excellent thing. And I have friends who've started companies. They've gone through the boot camp, they've gone to Pitch Club, and they've all just raved both about the boot camp as well as the Pitch Club. It's really helped them in honing their presentation.
And it honestly, like, there's not a whole lot of other organizations that do something like Pitch Club. I mean, they'll do like, you know, like they'll let people get up at a pub talk and talk about their company for like 60 seconds, but like it is just such a great, unique workshop that I would encourage you all to at least participate in a few times out of the year. So.
You know, and I want to add something, just giving historical perspective, because it started back, I think, in 12 or 13. It really was very unique because, you know, there was 60-minute pitch and come pitch at a beer and all that kind of stuff. But Pitch Club was the first time where there was an engagement between mentors and the pitchers. And then there was peer mentoring. And that was very unique when we started, and that has carried through. And this Pitch Club has led to some really exciting investment opportunities like RFPIO. You know, we found RFPIO at a Pitch Club. So, you know, this is a really important program. And the more participation from charter members just really enhances the value, and it becomes a kind of a magnet for people to come and attend because they want to meet people like us at this meeting in a kind of an informal setting, but being able to pitch to everybody.
Yeah, definitely. It's fun. It's super fun. Okay. So that's all I have to say on behalf of Tom Kingsley for Mentor Connect and Pitch Club. So please attend. And now I'm going to turn it over to the one, the only Ben Nahir to talk to us about Thai Angels.
Couldn't unmute myself. Are you running the slides, Carrie? Is that it?
I am.
Okay. Hi, everybody. I think I know almost everybody on here, but just for those who I have not yet met or communicated with very much, I, as Carrie said, run the Thai Angel program with Nitin. And we run both the Thai Oregon Angels and the Thai Global Angels. And so I didn't actually include slides about Thai Global Angels, but I can talk about that for a couple minutes at the end. As Nitin said, I mean, we're one of the most active chapters in the Thai network, and really we're one of the most active angel groups around in the Northwest. We've done, in about 10 years, we've done about 65 investments, 14 million in total investment. We've already had 8 of our companies exit. I mean, that's a pretty good track record. The majority of our companies are still very active. And I know Carrie had some numbers about 2020's performance. As you can see, our overall inclusivity has gone up since we were first founded. We had about 50% female founders invested last year, but our overall portfolio is about 31%. And we're really trying to push the overall diversity of our founders up. 25% is good, but certainly we are doing what we can.
Ben, can I add one historical statistic?
Sure.
The first 3 investment that we made had female founders or co-founders, and one of them had an African-American, and all 3 exited, and we got some phenomenal returns from those companies.
There's a trend that we've seen with a lot of our exited companies.
And with Zapproved, we've had the highest returns of 17x. Yeah. So just with Monica Enan, which was our first informal angel investment.
So, it's, despite living in one of the least diverse areas of the country, it's nice to see so much support for all different kinds of entrepreneurs. Next slide. So this just gives you an idea of what the program has done over the past about 7 years. First few investments were 2010, 2011, but the program really didn't come into its own until about 2014. And so from there, we've averaged about $700,000 to $800,000 in investment per year. Obviously, some years, everybody gets really excited about some deals, which is how we end up with nearly a couple million in 2018. And we usually do about 5 to 8 investments a year. So despite the fact that there was a global economic crisis, a global pandemic, you all continue to support entrepreneurs, and that's so incredibly important, especially in this time. And so it's been really nice to see how much the people who are really putting it out there to try and start companies are getting the support from our organization and investors like you. Look, can you go back? So what's also nice is that we're very closely linked with Elevate Capital, as I'm sure many of you know. And so we can leverage not only our connections within the Thai organization, but we can leverage Elevate for co-investment to add additional support to these founders. And so the companies on the bottom are the 7 companies that received investment in 2020. The 4 on top are all based in Oregon. The 3 on bottom, Toolbelt was headquartered in Vancouver, so we'll call that Oregon.
Well, it's kind of headquartered in both because Ross is in Oregon.
That's true. That's true. Yeah. And then Animal Biome and Ops Cruise were collaborations with Thai Silicon Valley. And that's actually been one of the nice things that we've been able to do more recently is collaborate, especially as we've gone to just a virtual meeting format, collaborate with some of the Thai chapters, especially on the West Coast and in the Northeast. So we've been able to, while we're still focused on supporting Oregon companies, in an effort to bring all of you the best deals that we can, it's nice to be able to sometimes look at what some other chapters are investing in and also bring some of their expertise to support our companies. And so we had co-investment from some of the other Thai chapters in Biomodem and VitalFlow. And so that's—
And also Hemix Health was a big one.
Yeah, I mean, these were just in 2020.
It was 21, yeah, 2020. Yeah.
Yes, no, we've been establishing these relationships over the last several years, and they're really starting to show. We're starting to reap some of the rewards of those relationships.
just want to add that, the most active chapters right now that are investing alongside Oregon is TIE Boston, TIE Atlanta, TIE Silicon Valley, of course. They had to have a reboot, but they're very active. And TIE SoCal is coming up. They committed $1 million to invest over a year's period of time. And TIE Tampa to some degree. But there's these 4 sort of anchored, and a little bit of TIE New York, but mostly these 4 chapters. And there's a lot of interaction. There's a lot of regional interaction between TIE Atlanta and TIE Tampa and TIE South Carolina. And there's some more chapters that are up and coming, like TIE South Coast. They committed $1 million. We don't know how they're doing, but TIE SoCal is very active, and so is Silicon Valley. So we're building these regional networks of co-investment, bringing deal flow across the networks. And then, if 100,000 or more gets invested, then they automatically go to the TIE Global Angels that's got about 200-300 charter members that take a look at it. And there's some of them are from outside of the United States. So it's really becoming more and more robust as time goes by, as the chapters, start realizing that, if you don't write a check, you're not relevant. So we're starting to see a lot of that right now across the network.
All right, now you can go to the next slide, Carrie. So this just gives you an idea of the work that goes into actually bringing these companies to the investor meetings. We have a multi-step process to vet these companies before we ever feel comfortable actually having them pitch to all of you. And so, over the last 4.5, 5 years, it's actually hard to believe that I've been with TIE almost 5 years now, but we've significantly ramped up the number of companies that we review at the top so that we can find the best quality companies to actually come and pitch. And at the end of the day, we still end up in that 5-ish% funding rate, which is pretty typical of venture funds. It's pretty typical of angel organizations. But it also means that we have the luxury and the opportunity to choose the best deals that we can. And so
Ben is a pipeline magnet, by the way. I have to I was going to do it at the end, but I'm going to say it now. Ben works really hard, and he has, we'd had 2 program managers. We started with Shashi, then we had Vera, then we had a little bit of Daniel, but then Daniel left, and he brought us Ben, which has been the biggest gift that anybody could give us in terms of his commitment, Ben works really hard, and in his ability to attract and connect with the entrepreneurs. So while we provide mentoring, Ben is also mentoring them. And I am amazed by the kinds of relationships that he's developed with both male and female entrepreneurs that like to talk to Ben. And so it really opens up, a lot of doors with a lot of entrepreneurs. And people in the TIE network love him, for the TIE Global Angels. And so I really want to recognize you, Ben, that, for a job well done, for being with us, for sticking with us for 5 years. And really, he's grown. I've seen him grow into a really mature, both as a manager, he's done to become a VC, as part of Elevate, but really the roots are from TIE Angels, right? So a lot of your learning came from TIE Angels, but I must recognize that you are a PhD with an MBA, and that has helped. That analytical thinking, along with that financial background, and your ability to learn concepts quickly, and then really engage. Your engagement level is unbelievable, and I don't know how you do it, but you're doing. And I want to recognize you that you have really, it's not me, I'm just like working with you, but you in the last few years have really taken TIE Oregon Angels to a whole new level, and we all recognize what you bring to the table. So thank you for what you do.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that, Nitin. And it's been an absolute fantastic journey so far. I knew basically nothing about angels and entrepreneurship and investing when I joined TIE 5 years ago, and so it's been quite a ride, and I've learned so much. And I think one of the reasons that I've been able to learn so much is by meeting so many people like all of you who bring so many different perspectives. And every time I'm on investor calls or diligence or screening meetings or even just having one-on-one chats, just, continuing to learn from everybody's, from what everybody brings. And it's been great. So it's a lot of fun. And I think that, that really helps. But I don't want to hoard all the fun. And what I really enjoy is actually being able to work with a lot of you. And so these are just some of the ways that you can get engaged, and we can collaborate on helping these entrepreneurs. Even if we don't invest, I think one of the biggest value adds, and this is a common theme throughout all of what we do, whether it's TYE or TIE University or TIE Women, TIE XL, is mentoring these entrepreneurs. And I tend to be fairly upfront with founders if I don't think that they're going to be a good fit with us, but I'll tell them that we want to do what we can to help them. And that's where having all of you engaged really makes a difference. So, whenever I meet founders, if you're interested in helping founders, meeting with them one-on-one, and you have particular areas of interest, let me know if I don't already know, and I will happily make introductions. You saw on the last slide or so, I met with about 200 founders just for TIE last year. And I certainly don't have the resources or the expertise to help most of them. But that's what I want to do, is be able to connect them with you. So mentoring them, if you know of founders who are looking for investment or support, please feel free to connect them to me, and I'll try and find, whether it's within the TIE Oregon ecosystem, the larger TIE ecosystem, within the venture community, I will try and help them find whatever resources they need. But where your participation is especially valuable is in screening these companies. I'm just one person, and I can make judgment calls based on what I know, but having more people evaluating entrepreneurs and evaluating companies is really how we get the best opportunities to pitch to all the investors. So we hold screening meetings. If we're going to be doing this new format, which I think is going to be really a big improvement over the prior format, we'll probably hold screening meetings once, maybe twice a month as we have the deal flow. And so there will be plenty of opportunities to have these really intimate conversations with entrepreneurs. And then post investor pitch, getting involved in diligence. I think a lot of people, when they first join, feel a little bit intimidated by diligence. And I think actually it should be the other way around. It should be that you should feel like you want to come and learn and add and bring your own perspective to diligence, because that's how we make the best decisions, is that group effort. And I know for the people who have been involved in diligence before, I've certainly appreciated having all of you there.
Can I add one thing, just to go back to the screening meeting? This is not a closed group of people. So we're very open. If you're interested in sort of, if you just joined TIE and you haven't made an investment and you're sort of like in that learning mode, I think being part of the screening and also actively participating in the diligence is a way to kind of, before you even write a check, it's a way for you to sort of get engaged and kind of learn the ropes a little bit. And it's okay to follow initially. As a matter of fact, I would say some of the smart ones, smart angels who follow but pick the right deals, probably end up getting better returns than anybody else, because it's really a great way to just get yourself in. But the engagement piece is so important, because you really are learning something that you've not done, otherwise. When you participate in the team, in the diligence team, and also be part of the screening meeting. So you kind of get that sense of how do you pick deals, and it's really osmosis. A lot of it is osmosis. You might have an instinct, and you may not know that you have an instinct for deal picking. So being part of the screening meeting is really a great way to kind of learn about your instinct to look at a deal and say, yeah, I think this makes sense. Let's take it to the next level.
I put mentor founders on here twice intentionally, because I want to emphasize how important it is to engage with founders before we invest, but also how important it is to continue that engagement after we've invested. And I think that's where we can add a lot of value, where a lot of other angel groups tend to invest and then be very passive with their companies. And so we've talked about a lot of these other programs, so I don't want to belabor them, but there are plenty of ways to become involved, and Nitin's absolutely right. If you're new to it, look at it as an education and a learning opportunity. And if you're experienced, look at it as a way to continue to engage and help a lot of those founders. So I think that was the last content slide I had, right, Carrie?
Yeah.
So I didn't I forgot to put in some TGA slides, but for those who are new, TGA stands for Thai Global Angels. And this is really the formal version of the informal connections we have with a lot of the other Thai chapters. And so Nitin briefly touched on it, but we have some criteria that we use to help chapters select which companies actually get to pitch to Thai Global Angels. But this is another network of investors and entrepreneurs around the world, primarily in the US, but we do have quite a few people who are in the India chapters, as well as some of the other international chapters that participate on these calls. And so you have a chance, even though it's virtual, you have a chance to meet some of these people and hear their perspectives as well, coming from different markets. So as Thai Oregon members, since we run the Thai Global Angels as well, you're all automatically added to the mailing list. And we already have a couple of companies lined up that will be making announcements for investor calls soon, coming out of the Thai Access, or sorry, the Thai Women Global Competition. And I actually just received an email the other day from the president of Thai Boston for another company that they want to put up there. So we'll have plenty of opportunities for you to look at companies both in Oregon and outside of Oregon in the coming months. And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. Oh, that's right. One other thing. We're going to be hiring an intern. So I've taken on a more active role at Elevate. And because of that, my time is getting stretched pretty thin. And so we're going to be hiring an intern, hopefully out of one of the universities around, to do this for a year to 2 years, to learn what it's like to manage an angel program and to get more involved in the community. And the idea is that this will turn into a rotating position so that we can constantly be educating and bringing up new people in the industry. So we'll be, once I hire someone, we'll be announcing and introducing that person.
Hey, Ben, do you need any references or from TYE students or maybe Thai University students?
Shashi, thank you. I will I'll email you separately if I do. I've got a couple of people that I'm actually interviewing in the next couple of weeks.
It's likely from universities, Shashi, but not the youth program. We need people.
I was thinking of like alumni from the youth program, like, Eli would be a good one.
Well, but they're still, we need, but anyway, you and Ben should talk offline. So
Yeah.
he can give you the requirement.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you so much, Ben. Yeah, and I think just another, takeaway is if you have a company that you think is worthy of investing, send them over to Ben or send them over to Pitch Club and have some of your peers evaluate them first. But we're constantly, and that's a lot of the ways that people hear about Thai is through just word of mouth. So please just talk to folks within your network about Thai and get them into our programs. Okay, so just to reiterate, the charter member meetings will be taking place on the third Tuesday of the month from 3 to 5 p.m. And I will actually be putting these on your calendars directly, but I will also be creating, I might not be, but somebody else within the staff might be creating Google calendars for several of these other programs that we've talked about. So you can opt in to the Pitch Club calendar so that if you want to get reminded about when the pitch clubs are happening, or when you want to get reminded of when the Thai Women events are happening, you can self-subscribe into those Google calendars. However, after today, as a charter member, you will now see these monthly charter member events on your calendar. And I just thought I would just pull this back up because when I first pulled it up, we hadn't talked about all of the events. And so I hope now this makes a little bit more sense. I'm happy to answer any additional questions regarding the difference between the foundation and Thai Oregon. But this is hopefully kind of just a wrap of what we discussed.
Can I add
Yes, please do.
Because I need to sign off. I've got another meeting at 5. I just want to thank everybody again, and I want to thank the staff. I want to thank Carrie. I want to thank Heather. I want to thank Brigida. I want to thank Tom Kingsley. I want to thank David Smith and Ross and everybody that really has given us their time. You know, some of you have contributed in other ways. You know, it takes a village, and I want to thank Ben and Nicole, and you know, it takes a village. And what we have done, especially over the last 5 years, is created like an amazing village of people who care about giving back, because that's really the core DNA of TIE, and that's what the founders envisioned. And we have really taken the preamble of TIE really makes a lot of sense in Oregon in terms of what we've done, and we couldn't have done without your support, you know, to all the charter members. So I would my only ask is, you know, please be engaged in whatever form you can. We appreciate your financial support. And the other ask is, if you know of other folks like you who are like-minded, we would love to expand our charter member base. We've had a little bit of transition. People have retired and, you know, kind of taken a little bit of a step back. So we like to be in the 70 to 80 range. I think we're kind of hovering around 70. We'd like to get it up to 80. So if you know some people who might be interested, you know, please send them to me or send them to Carrie, and we will talk to them and be happy to engage them into the TIE ecosystem. With that, thank you. I'm going to sign off. Carrie, you can wrap up.
Yeah, thank you, Nitin.
Thanks.
Okay, the only other thing I have is that it is a global organization, and there are several global programs that you can also tie yourselves into, including TIECon, which takes place in the Silicon Valley. This year is actually taking place virtually on May 6th through the 8th, but it is one of the largest investor conferences in the world. I've been several times. It's crazy how much activity goes on at TIECon. So if you have the opportunity to attend and you're in the Silicon Valley in May, early May, I just do it. It's just, there's just so much energy and so many things that happen at TIECon. It's a lot of fun. We've also got the TIE Charter Member Retreat. It's kind of been put on hiatus because of COVID. Last year, I think they ended up canceling it, but usually they go to some fabulous location around the world, and it's a great place for you to bring your family and network with other people from all around the world. I don't know what that's going to look like this year, but I'll get the information out to you as soon as I know. Again, last year they did have to cancel it, but we're hoping that it'll be on again this year. The TIE Global Summit was virtual this year. It usually takes place in December, typically somewhere in India. This year it was virtual. I'm assuming next year it will be back in either Mumbai or Delhi, and I'll get those dates on the calendar as soon as I get the details. And then we have the TIE Global Interest Groups, and those are online communities. And they consist of certain segments: healthcare, fintech, sustainability and mobility, education, cybersecurity, hospitality and tourism, and then gaming, media, and entertainment. And so that's just a really great way to engage with your charter member peers that are global, that have the same interests as you. And those all can be found on the tie.org website. You can just sign on. I think that they do it by LinkedIn groups. So just remember that this is not only a local membership, but it's also a global platform for you to take advantage of. And with that, I have to say, it's like 2 minutes to 5 o'clock. We're like right on time. And again, I want to just give a huge shout out to all of our charter members and all of the folks that you see here on our screen. Without all of you and our partners, we could not do everything and have the impact that we have for Oregon's entrepreneurial ecosystem. So thank you all for spending time with us this evening. Is there any last remarks by anybody on the call? Nope. All right, this has been recorded, so we will have this available to any other charter member that's interested. Thank you so much for joining us. Signing off. We'll see you soon.
Thank you, Carrie.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.